Hello and welcome to Mania. Mania brings to you our prediction for every pay-per-view, and today we are going to predict matches for the upcoming pay-per-view Money in the Bank. What is Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank is an annual gimmick pay-per-view produced by WWE since 2010, and generally held between May and July. The concept of the show comes from WWE's established Money in the Bank ladder match, in which multiple wrestlers use ladders to retrieve a briefcase hanging above the ring. The briefcase contains a contract that guarantees the winner a match for a world championship of their choosing at any time within the next year. Male wrestlers compete for a contract to gain them a match for either Raw's WWE Championship or SmackDown's Universal Championship, while female wrestlers compete for a Raw Women's Championship or SmackDown Women's Championship. 2020 will be the 11th event in the Money in the Bank chronology. Without further ado, here's our predictions. We expect the following order at the event. The first match, Bayley vs Tamina Snuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Both Bayley and Tamina have for much of their career lived in the shadows of their friends and frenemies. Tamina has struggled with the help of pals from the Usos in AJ Lee, Naomi and Nia Jax, to stand here as a solo contender to that crown. At 42 years old, it's a hell of achievement for a woman who's been counted out many times over due to a mix of injuries and loss of form and favor, and it should be applauded, but we don't think she'll have what it takes to push ahead that last step and dethrone the champ, so we predict the winner is going to be Bayley. Match, WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The New Day versus The Miz and John Morrison versus The Forgotten Sons versus Lucha House Party, a fatal 4-way tag team match. After some decidedly odd tag team title bouts of late, we're back to proper tag team action. Back holding the gold are the New Day in their 8th major tag team reign. It's their 6th time holding the SmackDown crowns, and as ever they're not likely to give them up in a hurry. But the competition is perhaps as strong as it's ever been. Miz and Morrison have turned back the clock with their renewed partnership. Lucha House Party can never be counted out, even with Kalisto out of action with an injury. And then there's the Forgotten Sons, who have burst in from NXT with a massive non-title win over the New Day in their in-ring debut. Despite that, we can't see past Biggie and Kofi Kingston holding on. We think the rest of the challenge out there is likely to cancel each other out, leaving the champs to retain. So, the winners, the New Day. Match. Asuka vs Shayna Baszler vs Nia Jax vs Dana Brooke vs Lacey Evans vs Carmella. Money in the Bank ladder match. Sasha Banks was our early pick for this one, but then Lacey Evans went and turned off our prediction sheet by dumping Bayley's best friend Nimi out of the competition. Now it's a totally open field. The only former winner here is Carmella. But without James Ellsworth socially and physically distant from WWE these days, her chances aren't as good as they might have been. Shayna Baszler and Asuka are likely to be many people's favorites. Both have been in the hunt for single goals recently, and both are among the most hardcore wrestlers in the WWE today. Dana Brooke is always a dark horse, and given that we were originally fancying Sasha Banks, we can't totally count out the woman who edged her over the ladder, Lacey Evans. Nia Jax has held the Raw title once before for a couple of months between Alexa Bliss reigns for a couple of months, and now she's all fixed up after a lengthy spell on the shelf. We think her hunger will be strong, but we think Shayna Baszler is going to win this match and finally revenge her loss at WrestleMania 36. Fourth match, Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Daniel Bryan vs Rey Mysterio vs Aleister Black vs King Corbin vs Otis and vs AJ Styles. Somebody's going off the side of the building, and since it can't be the Big Show, shout out to Halloween Havoc 1995, I think it will be Styles. Styles was killed for Rio at WrestleMania and came back all. So what? I got buried. Big deal? I want him to get launched off the side of the tower to his death, only to show up a week before the next pay-per-view like, so what? I got thrown off a building and hit the pavement and my butt exploded. Who cares? Until quarantine's over, they should kill him at every major show in crazily ridiculous ways, like his Kenny from South Park. None of this is canon anyway, but I clearly think the phenomenal one is gonna take the contract. Fifth match, WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre vs Seth Rollins. Unless we've entered a truly nihilistic era from which there is no escape, Rollins gets flipped by 1 to 5 Claymore kicks and McIntyre retains. The world does not need another Seth Rollins title run right now, and perhaps more importantly, Drew McIntyre doesn't deserve to have the entirety of his WWE Championship run happen in an otherwise empty gym. The man's got to get the love from the WWE Universe at some point, doesn't he? Are we so evil that we won't let him stand on the turnbuckles and pose with the WWE Championship at least once while everyone chants, "You deserve it"? Obviously, the mayor of Claymore Country is taking the W. And the main event. Since the WWE Championship main evented WrestleMania 36, so we think Money in the Bank is going to be main evented by the Universal Championship match, Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. Braun Strowman used to be Bray Wyatt's henchman in the Wyatt family. Everyone went their separate ways. Luke Harper went to AEW, Wyatt turned into a haunted children's show host, then transformed Griffiths into a sadistic shadow clown. Strowman won a championship with a 10-year-old and flipped an ambulance. And Rowan bought an animatronic tarantula off Amazon and ran home crying when it got broken. But now that Strowman is Universal Champion, Wyatt's like, "Hey big man, let me hold $1." If it seemed like Roman Reigns was just about to come back, I might expect them to put the belt on Bray, just so he could drop it to Roman and put us back where we were expected to be ages ago. But considering the pandemic is still ongoing, we have no idea when Roman will return, and WWE is editing him out of recaps and refusing to say his name, so I'm guessing Braun retains. We might see some matches added in the last minute, like maybe Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville versus Humberto for the United States Championship and for the 100th time. We really want to thank you for watching this video and see you to our next prediction video. Ciao.